What's going on, everyone? This is Jordan with Conquer Trading Investing, getting online here for the FOMC rate decision. Rates were on hold as expected. We have about 22 minutes until the press conference. I expect it is around then the fireworks are going to start. Let me just go ahead and take a moment and let other people know that we're currently getting online here. All right. I was a little late. Oh, yeah, all right, Rostin. Good to hear that. Sorry about all that back and forth and not getting that out sorted quicker. Um, Sometime this afternoon, I want to check in with you again and just make sure that we're completely on the same page. All right. So far, there's not really much happening. Again, it's not until the press conference, and it's really not until the question and answer portion of it that we could expect any type of market reaction. Again, that's only if any unknowns are introduced to the market. Otherwise, I do expect it's going to be a non-event. Hi, Anita. So glad you're here. Um, just want to really just ingrain in everyone's mind right now, as expected, no market reaction yet. Probably won't be until the question and answer begins. Amir, welcome. Good to see you. Mark, I'm back live. I was a few minutes late, but I think we have plenty of time still with a lot of downtime before anything starts happening. Nevertheless, it's time to be awake and aware. Amir, we live stream every day at 9 a.m. Eastern time. If you're able to catch us. Usman, we've got a couple of new faces in here today. That's awesome. Afternoon session. Um, Really, guys, wait and see right now. Just be aware if anything does happen, but the base case is nothing happens in the markets until the question and answer section of the press conference begins, and if Powell says anything unexpected. You do see the dollar slightly off its highs. Nothing to read into yet at all. Let's go down here to a 15-minute time frame. It's very small. Let's try a 30-minute. Yeah, this is a good time to look at the euro US dollar. Let's do that together really quick. We're going to start here with the dollar index because it's entirely relevant to the euro US dollar, right? And if you've been following our weekly Forex forecasts, we were basically over here, long dollar, short dollar, long dollar, short dollar. Here we were like, what is happening? It looks like we're breaking out. And then we've broken out of this bull flag. Now, the whole time, the base case that we were going under was that this was a bull flag and eventually we would break out to the upside. Now, I didn't know that it would be here. We didn't know it could have been further down, but unless we lost this support down here, we expect it to break up to the upside. We still think this has got a long way to go to the upside. That's not to mean it goes up in a straight line, right? What's happening now? Well, we got this support down here now that we haven't tested yet, and we have this resistance up here, and we're kind of in the middle. All right. So it's possible that the dollar, before it hits into this resistance, it's possible it does have a little more way to go. What does that look like on the euro US dollar? That would be down here towards this support area down here. All right. So right now, this is a pretty important level. I'd say this is right around 1.0990. That's currently holding. There must be some stops below. Look over here at the low over here. This is the monthly low. right? So probably have some stops over there that could get triggered. But right now we're holding this area of support, and we're really waiting to see what happens. Do you buy down here off this support? I would not. The dollar is in a strong breakout, right, of this bull flag. So it's a question of looking to sell any rallies. Where's the first place to look to lean in? First you have this area over here. It's a very, very, very light local resistance, but more so over up in this area. If price is able to come back over here, and you see price then these resistance level hold and price start resuming downward, that would be a really good entry on the Euro US dollar. Otherwise, if we break down, don't play the breakout. But if we're able to come in and hold this support, let's see what happens on this retest of this resistance. But right now we have a strong dollar. You don't trade against strength. So you're looking to sell any rallies towards the US dollar. That goes for all pairs. Australian dollar is super weak, right? So strong dollar, weak Australian dollar, weak New Zealand dollar. Focus strength versus weakness. The weakness here should continue because of the current situation worldwide, the current situation in China, and the slowdown of the global economy that's going to be caused because of it. All right. That's the picture. Now that we're all on the same page, what we're really waiting for is for Powell to get started with the press conference. Omar Snowy, welcome. Would the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar be affected? So as far as the Canadian dollar, Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, the Canadian dollar is the strongest of those three, right? So playing, for example, we were looking at overnight the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. All right, this looks like, um, well, still fuzzy over here. That's for sure. Above this, it looked like it would broke out over here. It came back down, tested. I would say you could see over here, these spikes down. That was definitely support and then resistance, resistance again. So this is here held as support. This is a pretty good line. Let's put that in there. As long as we're above here, it's pretty healthy. Looks like we're going to make some further upside here against the. No, I'm sorry. Just step back 1 second. There we go. Here we go. This is good resistance over here. That little line I just put in, get below it, get below here, and this looks like a strong sell. All right. This looks like a strong sell below this little local support over there. Right now, in the bigger picture, you can clearly see that the Canadian dollar is stronger than the New Zealand dollar, and it just took out yesterday this pretty strong support. That support was tested as resistance once and twice. Um, I'd look for it to continue lower. I mean, oil is weighing against the Canadian dollar right now. That's for sure. But even still, being that the New Zealand dollar and the Australia are so closely linked to the Asian economy, I would give the Canadian dollar definitely the edge here, being closely linked to the U.S. economy with the current situation. I'm also looking for maybe. Oh, 3:30 said. There you go. At the close of the press conference too, if there's any type of trend that's going to take place, that's usually when it will take place. Why is that? That's because all the any news that could be introduced to the market, the opportunity for that to happen is out of the way. So that's usually at the end of the press conference when, if there's a market trend, you'll see the direction of the trend, and that should continue. So dollar slightly off since the Fed stayed on hold. Obviously, everyone was expecting them to stay on the hold. It's what is the yen doing since? Let's see. The yen is off also. I think any opportunities here, any retrace on the Australian dollar, Japanese yen is a good place to lean into longs. You saw that overnight on the good Australian CPI data, and it was an opportunity to sell. Remember, tomorrow at 11 a.m., World Health Organization is holding a press conference. I don't think the situation regarding the coronavirus is all that good. We will, right around the Asian Open, little before Asian Open, get the official data out of China, and we'll see what's happened in the last 24 hours. I want to check the indices. Stocks, after trading off earlier, are back a little bit up on the day. Now, be aware that they are expecting a accommodative Fed. Let's see what Powell's reaction is. Let's see what his tone is. Let's see if he mentions the possible slowdown in the global economy because of the coronavirus. We're getting started here in about 12 minutes. In the meantime, we're just in a kind of wait and see holding pattern. Sammy, Paul, what's going on? Mima, glad to see you in here. Absolutely, Paul. I have no idea, to be honest, whether or not we're going to see a little bit of dollar weakness or not. To be honest, I have no idea. Um, and those of you that follow closely know that I usually have a base case. I usually have a pretty strong feel for what's going on, and we're kind of, right now between this support and this resistance, and we're in no man's land. And I don't really have an edge to how the market's going to react, one way or the other, to be honest. Velvet, this is actually exactly what we expected would happen. This was expected to be a non-event. Um, and any possible movement coming during the press conference, if the Fed addresses the easy monetary policy, or if he talks about the global slowdown, about the coronavirus. But up until now, this is exactly what we expected to happen. What did you expect to happen? Again, I have no idea. I have no edge here going in to the conference as far as whether we're going to see continued dollar strength or perhaps some weakness. Um, we are solidly between support and resistance, and I have no idea. Gold is a bit bid. Yen is definitely showing a little signs of weakness. Listen, I don't think that's going to continue. I think that by tomorrow press conference at 11 a.m., we start seeing some yen strength into the market. Tipping point, what's going on? Hernero, good timing on entering just 10 minutes before the conference. Australian dollar, US dollar, any type of pullback here, whether it's this first area, whether it's over here, where it winds up being into the stronger resistance up here. I think those are fantastic opportunities to see if the resistance hold, price resumes downward. Either one of those could be a fantastic entry. Watch if we start breaking to new lows after or during the press conference. If we do, this is probably going to lead the way to the downside. Yeah, Zoran, as long as you're above this, again, last night we were trading over here when I did the analysis, and I had that green line over there. And I said, as long as you're above that line, that's pretty bullish. Watch out. The line was tested overnight, and price is now currently up. Betting against the betting against the euro with the Australian dollar now, right here, seems very, very, very dangerous. Again, Australian Central Bank meets on Monday. Right now, they're expected to be on hold. But even if they don't cut and they're on hold, the move after that, they're going to be setting up for a cut. Australian dollar weakness. More appropriately, right now, you're seeing huge risk off in the markets. Australian dollar weakness. Australian dollar tightly tied to the Chinese economy. Australian dollar weakness. Careful over there, Zoran. Again, above this line here, it's bullish. So levels to look at if we do see dollar weakness. The most important level that I'm looking at is first how price. You see this. This was strong resistance we had going back, really strong resistance, and once it broke, it's so far held as support. Uh, Another look at this would be, and if it holds, an ideal position to look at getting long U.S. dollars. I don't know if we're going to get that or not. I have no idea. About 4 minutes until the conference begins. Yeah, a little bit difficult to trade over here overnight. Uh, because if I was trading this, I definitely would have had. Uh, well, this happened during New York, so I don't know. I would have had stops up here how to enter the trade though. I probably would have got stopped out over here. And if we're able to get down below this support over here, you could see this is resistance. And right now that resistance is broken. It depends where we close on the daily. I'm also, you could see that over there. Got a couple of different levels. Um, if she starts making, really reversing and starts making lower lows on the daily here, I don't think I would take it right there. A lower, you know, it's tricky right now, to be honest. I would love it off of this resistance over here. Yesterday, I was really looking to lean into the U.S. dollar, Canadian dollar, um, and I guess I'm a little more unsure right now. If the dollar comes off, where do you think we'll see strength? Will it be on things like on the euro, or will it be things like on will the Canadian dollar, which has been stronger than the Australian dollar, New Zealand dollar, or will it be things that have really got hit the hardest, like the Australian dollar and New Zealand dollar? Will they see the biggest spike up? Any spike up into this resistance gets me excited, um, but I don't see too many edges. I'm not yet looking to take advantage of any dollar weaknesses, and actually, I'm not looking to trade against the dollar. Um, I'm looking to hold Japanese yen positions, and any possible retests on the dollar. I'll be looking to position myself towards dollar on any pullbacks, as opposed to fading the dollar. The dollar is just too strong right now. The environment is risk off with a strong dollar. I don't want to trade against the dollar. I want to trade with the dollar, and any retrace gives me an opportunity to position myself with the dollar. All right, Powell's about to get started right now. You gotta like how he's on time, right? Punctual, unlike grandstanding President Trump. So he said global growth looks to be stabilizing. Central bank meeting, Bank of England tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock a.m. Got pretty strong resistance here, and you got this resistance above here. I think we got to clear above here to start getting bullish. Fed saying they're going to be on hold until something changes in the economy. Market is very muted overall still. Again, it's the question and answer that could bring some type of volatility. Here comes the question and answer. That's right, Dominic. I mean, these guys are trading on looking for 10, 20 pips or whatnot, but any position traders, any swing traders, tomorrow's the official bank rate out of the Bank of England. They're expected to be on hold. There's a possibility of a cut. We could see some big volatility on the pound. Here comes gold taking a look at the highs since the FOMC. I mean, base case, this is a non-event unless something slips here during the press conference. No, I'm not entering any new trades here. Euro and gold at the highs of the since the FOMC.
Hello, and thank you for having us here today. I'll repeat that we think that until reserves are at a level at which they will not go below $1.5 trillion roughly during the course of the
So
year. Know that the TGA
translation, Fed is saying that they're going to expect to be continuing their repo activity at least through April. Obviously, now we expect that's going to continue past April, but just a reminder that the markets are going to be seeing some accommodation through April. All right. When they pull the liquidity away, that's when stuff could get a little bit dicey.
our intention of these adjustments is just to raise the level of
DXI is coming off.
our sole intention. I point out on other occasions more than once the differences, the really specific differences between this and large scale asset purchase programs. We've been over that. In terms of what
It's our support down here.
I think many think that markets very hard to say with any precision at any time when markets. What I can tell you is that what our intention is to return reserves to an ample level. We expect that to happen during the second quarter. And our plan as we do that is as those purchases get that level, we can gradually reduce them. We believe we can also gradually reduce repo as we reach an ample level, as we're satisfying.
Small moves, small moves.
And again, last thing I'll say is we're prepared to adjust as we go. As we've shown ourselves willing to do.
Thank you, Powell. Gina Smiley, New York Times.
Looks like Euro's leading the way here. Euro, gold. I'm seeing yen a little bit bid. Probably have an edge here on the shorting the US dollar, Japanese yen.
Some aspects of that new normal would include ongoing, powerful global disinflationary trend, which have led to lower than target inflation in many places in the world. Secondly, a flat Phillips curve, by which I mean low levels of sensitivity of inflation to resource utilization, for example, low unemployment. And thirdly, a much lower neutral real interest rate here and around the world. So those are challenging conditions for monetary policy to deliver on our statutory goals of maximum employment and stable prices. Although I would say that under our existing framework, we've been able to succeed or get close to succeed for most of the time lately to achieve those goals, although we do struggle, as other central banks do, with inflation goals. So this is about reviewing our strategy, tools, and communications to ensure that
Bitcoin close to breaking out this big resistance at 9,400.
and we continue our discussions at this meeting. I'm very, very pleased with the process so far, including the 14 events. Listen to events around the country at which we've engaged with a full range of people and groups across American society. That was a very, very positive experience, and I think we learned a lot. We've now had a series of number of FOMC meetings at which we've reviewed what we've learned and also dug deeply into strategy, tools, and communications. I expect that we will conclude the review and announce it around the middle of the year. Right now, we're just at the point of coming together to put all that together. So I think I'm not the person who should be telling you my personal preferences right now. We're trying to come together as a group around a set of answers. I feel very positive about that we're going to come up with some good results, and I'm just going to have to wait until we get to announce it.
Donna Borak with CNN. Going back to your outlook for global growth, we've seen some significant headwinds, as you mentioned earlier, with the easing with the partial U.S.-China trade deal. But now that there's some new concern following the outbreak of the coronavirus that it might shake global growth. We're already seeing reports from Ford and Toyota that they're planning to shut down their assembly plants for an extra week. Apple is rerouting their supply chains. Starbucks is shutting down close to thousands of stores. Are you worried at all about what the impact would be on the U.S. economy? And do you see that as a significant risk to the outlook at this point?
So let me talk about coronavirus specifically, and then I'll turn more to global growth more generally. First, it's a very serious issue, and I want to start by acknowledging the significant and considerable human suffering that the virus is already causing. There is likely to be some disruption to activity in China and possibly globally based on the spread of the virus to date and the travel restrictions and business closures that are imposed. Of course, the situation is really in its early stages, and it's very uncertain about how far it will spread and what the macroeconomic effects will be in China, in its immediate trading partners and neighbors, and around the world. So in light of that uncertainty, I'm not going to speculate about it at this point. I will just tell you that, of course, we are very carefully monitoring the situation. As you suggested, our framework ultimately is what are the potential ramifications for the U.S. economy and for the achievement of our dual mandate.
Get below this support here, and it looks really good. Take out the overnight low, and it looks phenomenal. Right now, got some work to do, but a good risk to reward. You know where you're wrong really quick.
2018, and then you saw a slowing in
Euro's continuing to lead the way here to the upside.
Factors played into that. It wasn't any one factor. There was trade policy.
Yeah, Dominic, he's saying the severity of it. He's saying that it's a real concern. It is going to affect growth to a certain degree. Talking about Toyota shutting down factories for a week, Starbucks.
Strains in some countries like Argentina, Turkey, and then later in Hong Kong and Chile, you had social unrest. So all of those things were playing into that cycle of weakening growth over the course of 2019 in the last half. I would say now there are grounds for what I would call cautious optimism about the outlook now for the global economy. Many analysts are predicting pickup in growth this year, although still to relatively modest growth rates.
The euro is the one moving.
People are pointing to, we would point to supportive financial conditions, the easing of trade tensions, the lower odds of a hard Brexit. The high-tech manufacturing industry does appear to be rebounding well in Asia, including China. The latest indicators, manufacturing PMIs, for example, suggest that manufacturing may have bottomed out, that they're still below 50 in many jurisdictions, moved up off of their lows. I would just say none of this is assured. As I mentioned, we saw the fourth quarter of last year came in quite weak.
Jesse, in the near term, I do. So, well, I guess what I'm watching here is the DXY.
Which again, it's too early to say.
One second. He's talking about the coronavirus.
As I mentioned, monitoring it carefully. There will clearly be implications, at least in the near term, for Chinese output, and I would guess for some of their close-in neighbors, and we'll just have to see what the effect is globally.
All right. So he's basically saying, listen, it's pretty severe. We're going to have to wait and see what the effects are globally, leaving it at that. So as far as the euro-US dollar, any type of follow through right now, it has momentum. And hey, scalpers, that's the one that's moving. But what I'm waiting for is a test down of this support if it happens on the DXY, and then I'll be looking to see where we are on the dollar, the euro-US dollar, and look to sell off any resistance I can, right? The first resistance will be up here at 1.1036. And then you have bigger resistance all the way up here, all the way up at 1078. So I'm not looking to buy the euro versus the dollar so much as I'm waiting for the dollar to retrace and provide an opportunity to get long dollar, because the dollar has momentum here. Are we seeing the top of the dollar here? Well, I don't think so. We just had this nice breakout. I think we're going to get a look at here eventually, and probably even one that may be breaking above it. I mean, let's take it as it comes. Right now, definitely since the FMC, dollar is cooling off a little bit, but look how strong it's been. This is so natural. This is a level of interest. This support down here, right? Look for this to hold, the dollar to come off of it. Sure, anyone who's fading the dollar right now, okay, that makes sense. But I'm not trading on that type of time horizon to look to do that. Just be quick. You're trading against something that's pretty strong in a risk-off type environment. I mean, gold. I mean, we looked at this morning, and if you look at, just to give you an idea of why gold is rising, this is the DXY. This is since the first of the year, and the dollar has been a beast mode. But look what gold did during that same time frame. During that strong dollar, here's the first of the month. Gold is also in beast mode. So with the strong dollar, gold is rising against the dollar. Gold is stronger than the dollar with a super strong dollar. As the dollar comes off now, of course, gold should rise up. So levels to look for on the euro. This is the first little resistance. So light. And then I think up here, all the way up here around 1078 is the next bigger resistance to worry about or take a look at. Powell is basically saying that the repo may continue indefinitely. Oh, this is the DXY on the daily time frame. Look at this long candle over here, and now again. So obviously, I don't have to tell any of you that look is not looking good for the bulls. Finally, taking some time off, perhaps. Question is then, what happens down at this support? That's when repo will end, when the dollar's destroyed. Yen is picking up strength here. Again, US dollar, Japanese yen also is pretty clear trade then. The big tell, guys, guys and girls, is after the press conference ends, which direction price goes. Silver is also now outbidding gold. It was lagging as this press conference got started. It's not putting up bigger gains. Gold is bid. Oh, this is coming up into a nice area of resistance. Uh, we have this line drawing in over here, right? We're trading into it now and above it, and then you have this trend line over here. This is both resistance. These are good areas to lean off of if price starts making lower lows um, during London or New York, and also off of this. If we do break out of here, we have another area of strong resistance above here. So now that we've come off the lows over here, I think you want to look to be selling. I don't know how long this move on the euro US dollar is going to be, or if it's going to be short lived. This little reprieve. But as far as the euro Swiss franc, I think now you have some opportunities here to begin looking at um, selling resistance. Yeah, Angela, were you able to hear me talking about the euro Swiss franc? All right, just checking. Thanks, guys. Yeah, get below here, get below this support down here, and we'll fall through. But I'm not sure one way or another, to be honest. I'm waiting for the end of the press conference to try to get an idea of which way the market's going to be trending the next few hours. We do see yen is bid. Precious metals are bid. Short Australian dollar, Japanese yen, long gold. No, Omar. I'm holding. Those of you follow. I'm holding Australian dollar, Japanese yen short on the open of the market this week. Short on the open and over here, and holding that. And also, since towards the close of Friday, uh, the pound Japanese yen since 142.94, 92, and holding that as well still. And those are my positions right now. Yep, definitely. And I show great. Listen, if this was a live rate decision, here the FOMC, and price was moving, then at that point it's part of my strategy to trade that and on the 1 minute time frame. That's not happening. The market's not moving. I definitely stick to a swing trade time frame, trading off the 8 hour time frame, the higher time frames, and I avoid for the most parts um, all urges when I see something very clear to step in there and take it, only because I found, and what works for me is sticking to my strategy, and I'm able then to consistently make money in the markets. And I learned a long time ago not to veer from my plan whatsoever. So I don't do it, even when I could see things clearly.
In my opening remarks today, I'll briefly review today's policy decision, or consistent with that,
Yeah, and so I am at along more along the lines of the way you trade, because of the current environment, the risk-off environment, because of the progressing situation out of China and with the coronavirus. I am looking to turn these into stacking position trades, where normally I would, right on a swing trade, I probably would have looked down towards the support to take profit. I'm looking to add to positions. I added a position here, and I'm waiting to see how this develops. There's the possibility that I could get into a nice long lasting position trade here. And my I'm always opening to that develop out of a swing trade, but just looking at the situation we were in, obviously it's not a normal situation, everything that's happening right now in China. We have a pretty big risk off environment. Precious metals, gold making new highs. DXY is stable. Jesse, so this is really good, really good, mature viewpoint you have. Listen, you'll make so much more money by exercising that patience and waiting for the right time to trade. I average 3 trades a week. I am watching the market, 5 days a week, and intently for a few hours a day, and I only take 3 trades a week. So if you feel like the euro is going to come down, instead of trying to pick the top, wait for that confirmation. What's a clear sign? If it doesn't, after this little retrace up, start making new lows for taking out this support. All right, that's a pretty strong signal. Otherwise, Jesse, wait until you lean into some resistance. You have a strong dollar. I expect that continues, but we've been strong since the first of the month, right? It's now, I don't know if it's the 29th or 30th. We're at the end of the month, straight up. Does it make sense to come off a little bit? It's entirely possible, but I think you're looking to buy any dips, buy any retraces into supports if price resumes upwards, instead of selling against the strong trend. Jesse, it's that patience that's going to be the big difference in your trading. Pound US dollar is in a precarious place because it has the central bank meeting tomorrow. This is at 7 a.m. Eastern time. They're expected to keep rates on hold. However, there's a possibility chance of a cut. And if they keep them on hold and they get forward to guidance that they're watching, waiting for a cut, you never know. Listen, to be bullish the pound, I got to get back above this major resistance over here. We get back above this resistance and I could get bullish the pound again. But until that happens, I, I, cannot. Now, stepping back here, the pound is still pretty bullish, right? It's not only is it bullish, it's still holding where my mouse is right here at 1.2954. It's still holding that support, and this was resistance for 6 weeks. It's tested it once, twice, and since has made a series of higher lows, right? And structurally, this is still bullish, but I'm not about to take a long position before that central bank gets out of the way tomorrow. If you lose this level, you know, there's a great chance we're coming down, testing down here, and then if you lose that level, it's worrisome. For me, I gotta get above this resistance all the way up here to look for more bullish momentum that I would feel comfortable taking advantage of it. Interesting. Nice, Iron Man. Nice positioning, and you know, listen, those are really good positionings. You know, I hope that you're able to parlay those into physical at some point in the future, way up higher, right? Because I mean, obviously, gold is looking to take out these highs during this bull phase that it's in right now, right? And how high it goes, you know, the end game ultimately on gold. I mean, I remember in 2003 when gold broke out over 800, and I remember me and my friend who taught ourselves to trade together at that point. Uh, we knew it was a big deal, but we were young, didn't realize how big of a deal that breakout was. I don't see strong resistance on the DXY. Here's the peaks. There's my mouse. So you're looking at this area over here. I got it up a little higher. What is she trading at now? Oh my goodness. There's the end of the press conference. Oh my goodness. Central bank balance sheet through the roof. See if we get a market direction here right now as the press conference has ended. I'm sorry, 800. It was, I think it was 400. That could have been the only trade I ever needed to make in my life. Only I just did not know back then enough about investing and time horizon. So we're basically back to where we started, up, dollars off just a tad. Definitely want to, you guys, great group in here. You guys are all awesome and add so much. And just want to, I wish I could like you and your comments for real. It's now last half hour in New York before the market close. Uh, Indices, opened up and since trading off, but everything is pretty muted. I mean, as far as gold, if that's what you're asking about, let's be right. I mean, it's a combination of the U.S. dollar continually losing purchasing power, and gold maintaining that store of value, maintaining its purchasing power. But then as soon as we got into the crisis in 2008, and then the central banks embarked upon all this printing of money, this massive amounts of spending and increasing their balance sheets, that has been obviously what has really set gold off. So it's more of the purchasing power of the U.S. dollar and all fiat devaluing. That's great comment. Yep. I'm gonna hang out here for another 15 minutes. I want to see if the market does do anything, if it picks a side, if it picks a direction, or if we just remain stale. But I'm gonna be on for a little bit longer. Do you have a great day, Iron Man? US dollar, Swiss franc into some good resistance coming off of it. Yeah, tipping point. Yeah, right back where we started. All right, everyone. Listen, awesome session. You guys are really enjoyable. Thank you. We'll be live streaming tomorrow, 9 a.m. Listen, tomorrow is a big day. We have the Bank of England. Anyone in the pound really expect some volatility there. You do have some numbers out of. I don't know how much the market's going to focus off this one um, because of there's bigger things going on in China right now. This is expected to be a little bit higher now. And whatchamacallit, the big thing of tomorrow is going to be at 11 o'clock a.m. when the World Health Organization has their press conference. Also be on alert around the Asian Open a little bit before when China releases the official numbers of we can find out whether or not finally we're getting the coronavirus under control or if it continues to grow exponentially. So have a great day, everyone, and I'll talk to you tomorrow.